Hello, I'm Jamila Musayeva, an international etiquette consultant and author of etiquette books. You can get my books online through my website. They're available for international shipment. As well, you can join my pre-recorded etiquette online courses, also available on my website. Upon completion of these courses, you'll get a certificate of completion. So as you can tell by what I have in front of me set up on the table, you can already guess the topic for today's video, and that is how to eat fruits elegantly. I've already done part 1, which I saw that you loved so much. I got so many different memes on TikTok about how to eat a banana, got so much reaction on YouTube Shorts about how to properly eat a banana. So I decided that because you loved it, I'll do a new video dedicated to new different kinds of fruit, how to eat them elegantly in the most formal way, but I'll also show you how to eat them in a more casual setting. But before I get started with today's video, I want to express my deep gratitude to the sponsor of today's video, which is a clothing brand that I recently discovered for myself. It's called Simple Retro. When they first reached out to me, it was just like a dream come true, because I thought this is exactly the brand that is the embodiment of my personal style. We were so much aligned in the way that they designed their dresses, and I loved to purchase my dresses. So if you see the brand, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. There are very elegant, very feminine, yet very fitting, and at the same time very modest designs. I personally really love this kind of dresses for daily wear as well as for work and also for cocktail parties. It's something that I personally would have designed if I had the chance to design a dress. So when I took a look at their lookbook, I loved pretty much every single piece, and I selected a few dresses for myself for this summer, and I've been wearing them ever since. I love the fact that you can easily pair it up with ballet flats and go out for, casual lunch with your friends or outing with your child, but you can also switch to heels and wear the same dress to a cocktail party. And you can also easily wear it for work, like I personally do. I wear these dresses for my lectures because I find them very modest and adequate and appropriate for teachings as well. What I personally love about this style is that it is quite fitting, so it really accentuates your figure, your silhouette, no matter what your body shape is. It's very form-fitting and very form-pleasing, but also the fact that it is so modest that all the right parts are quite covered, and so you can easily wear it for work as well. And personally for me, it's very important that the clothing is comfortable, because if I wear it out in the morning and I'm out and about in it until the evening, I want to make sure that I feel comfortable. And this is exactly ticking all the right boxes. I'm comfortable in them, I think I look quite feminine in them, and I think I look quite elegant in them. So if you want to get dresses from Simple Retro, use Jamila10 discount code for 10% discount on all your first purchases. So now let's get started with today's edition of how to eat fruits elegantly. First and foremost, I want to start with plums and any kind of fruits that have pits in them, be it smaller ones like cherries or be it apricots or plums. So any pitted fruit, you'd usually eat it with fork and knife. Obviously you will omit the pit, but for the fruits that have a small pit like cherries, you will only use your hands to pick it up. So if it's served like that in a communal platter, you'd pick a cherry, you'd place it on your plate first, and then you'd use your fingers to put into your mouth. You can take a one whole bite because they're small bite-sized pieces. And then the way you'll discharge the pit is, again, using the fingers. The general rule of thumb is that the way you put your food in is how you take out the pit. So with any food that's eaten with fingers, so any finger food or fruits like that, if you use your fingers to eat it, you take out the pit as well with your fingers. If you use fork and knife to eat it, then you would place the pit on the fork and discharge it again on your plate. Everything that we're discharging goes to the left side of the plate, because everything that is considered dirty or unused or trash, so to speak, always goes to the left side of the plate. So I'm going to eat this cherry. I'll place the pit on the left side of the plate. An alternative way of discharging a pit from a fruit, a small fruit like this, would be using your hand and actually creating a little cup like this in your hand and discharging the pit over here. This way the pit is hidden, so you really don't get to see the pit. But what happens is that when you are discharging it on the plate, because you're dropping it, there is going to be a lot more noise than if you were to place it using your fingers. The movement with the fingers is more controlled, so hence you can just place the pit on the plate without making a noise. Versus when you're cupping your hand like this and basically throwing the pit from your hand onto the plate, it's going to create a little bit of a noise, which I find to be a less elegant way of discharging the pit. Now I'm going to try another fruit which has a larger pit, and that's apricot. If it's served whole like this, I'll take it, put it onto my plate. I'll use fork and knife to eat it, but in order to do so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the back of the knife or the side of the knife to steady it like that. And I'm going to insert the fork inside because it's quite soft, and I'm going to use the knife to cut in the middle where I see this slit. That's how I'm going to open it. I'll take out the pit, place it on the left side of the plate, open it completely, and then I'm going to use fork and knife to cut a piece, maybe even a smaller one because I want it to be bite-sized, and eat it like that. So next I'm going to try watermelon. There are two ways of eating it, for formal occasions and informal occasions. In informal occasions, you can use your hands to pick up the watermelon. You can hold it by the skin, the thicker part, and you can actually hold it like that and eat it like this without using fork and knife. The best way to eat it is work all the way up from one side to another rather than taking bites from all different places. Just start at one point and continuously move in that direction. So when you're eating watermelon in informal occasions, say at your friend's party, a garden party, a barbecue party, you can decide if you want to eat the pits or not, depending on the size of a pit. If a pit is small, I personally love to eat it. Again, it's up to the personal preference, so I will not discharge it. But if I were to discharge the pit, then I would again use my fingers to take it out and place it on a plate. So this is how you would eat the watermelon in informal occasions. However, if you're going for a formal occasion, you will need to use fork and knife, and I'll show you how. So now I'm going to try and eat the watermelon in a formal occasion. Again, usually the watermelon is served either cubed or sliced. It might have a skin on it, it might not have a skin on it. It really depends on how the host is serving the fruit platter. Either way, you're going to use fork and knife. It's very easy to cut watermelon. The only thing you have to do is collect the pits before you actually start eating. So I'll collect the pits on one side, make sure that I have nothing left, and then I'll use fork and knife to cut a piece, and then I'll clear everything that I don't want on the left side of the plate, and then I'll use just the fork to lift it up. Tines always looking down, knife is in my right hand, always looking down as well, and that's how I'm going to lift the watermelon into my mouth. Next, I'm going to have some kiwis. Usually they're served sliced. They might have skin on it, might not have a skin on it. When they're sliced, it's very easy to eat them. Obviously, you use fork and knife. But the challenge comes when they're served like this, like a whole piece, like that. So you take a whole fruit, put it on your plate. You'll use fork and knife to cut it into two. So again, I always use the side of the knife to steady the fruit, and then it's easier then to insert the fork. And then I'm going to cut it in the middle, right like you are cutting an apricot, like I showed earlier. So I'm going to cut it like that into two pieces. Then I'm going to leave my knife, and what I'm going to do, I can do it both ways. So I can actually use the fork to steady it and then use the spoon to eat it. So I'll steady it with the fork and then use the spoon to take a little bit and eat it like that. Or I can actually leave the fork, hold it with my fingers like that, and continue eating with a spoon. Next, we're going to eat strawberries, again in two ways. The informal way to eat strawberries, especially when they're served with their stems, is to just pick them up by the stem like that. You eat it and then you discharge the stem on the left side of your plate. So good. So I'll eat it in 3 bites. So sometimes strawberries will be served with some cream or some chocolate. If this is individually served dipping, then you can go ahead and dip easily your strawberries into the chocolate or cream. But oftentimes this chocolate or cream is to be shared with everyone, so they're usually put or placed in the middle, like in a communal platter, to be shared by everyone. In that case, I always urge you to first transfer a spoonful of cream or chocolate to your own plate before you start dipping. Once you've transferred to your own plate, you can go ahead and dip your strawberry into any of these servings. This is a must rule when it comes to formal occasions, but I often urge my students to do so in informal occasions too, because of hygienic purposes. You don't want to continuously dip your strawberry into a communal condiment or communal cream or chocolate that everyone else is dipping their strawberry in. Be mindful and make sure that you eat safely. Again, if it's a formal occasion, if you were to pick a strawberry, you'll pick it by the stem if it's served with a stem, but usually in formal occasions you'll never get a strawberry with a stem. It's already going to be stemless, perhaps already sliced for you. But if that's not the case, you're going to pick up your fork and knife. First, I'm going to toss away or cut away the stem, and I'm going to place it on the left side of my plate, and then I'm going to cut a strawberry one piece at a time. Place my knife. The best time to enjoy strawberries is in June and July, but while we enjoy eating strawberries, oftentimes we find ourselves in a very uncomfortable situation where once we're enjoying the strawberry and next moment we feel that the seed is stuck in between our teeth and we don't know what to do with it. In that case, I advise you to take a sip of water. If you're at the table, take a small sip of water and gently swirl it around your teeth to cleanse it. So if that doesn't help you, then excuse yourself from the table, go to the washroom and use a toothpick to get rid of any seed, or maybe you can use a floss to get rid of any seed that's stuck in between the teeth and it's very difficult to get it out. You never groom yourself at the table. You don't use a toothpick at the table. It doesn't work when you're trying to cover it up and trying to pick your teeth. Everyone knows what you're doing. It's not a pleasant thing to watch, and you don't want to spoil everyone else's appetite while you're trying to groom yourself at the table. Anything that you need to do in order to take care of your hygiene, you do it in a washroom room in private. Thank you so much for watching this video until the very end. I hope that you enjoyed it and you learned how to eat different kinds of fruit more elegantly. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and do write in a comment section below what are some new fruits you would like me to do a video on. As well, write all your feedback and comments. I love reading them and I love learning what are the things that you are curious to learn more about. Thank you so much, and if you want to learn more in depth about etiquette, you can join my Patreon community, my Etiquette Movie Club, where every month I feature different lessons, etiquette lessons learned from various movies made in Hollywood and in Europe. So far I've done over 40 different movie analysis, and by joining the Patreon Etiquette Movie Club now, you can actually see all those videos at once. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!